Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Natasha from Dwell Realty and Design. Welcome to my channel. Please hit the subscribe button, anything and everything to do with the city of Houston. And today we are going to interview one of my favorite clients that moved here from California.
Hi, my name is Brittany.
So today we're going to go through and just ask Brittany some questions. Brittany, when did you move here? Remind me.
I moved here at the end of 2019, right before the pandemic.
Okay, right. And tell me, why did you move here? Why did you? She moved from California to Texas. So for all those that are looking to move from California to Texas, this will be very informative for you.
So specifically, we moved from Burbank, which was actually a pretty nice area for California, but it was very overcrowded. And before I was even pregnant, I knew when we had children that we didn't want to stay and raise them over there because of the crime rates. Even before the pandemic, like freedom wise, there's not much you can there. You're just stuck in traffic all day. And it's not very kid friendly over there. Cause I grew up around the whole valley in California and even even more Southern California. And everywhere I've lived has never been very kid friendly because of the crime. And we wanted to move here actually when we visited my sister-in-law here, which is why a lot of people move here when they come and visit. As soon as they get here, it's like breath of fresh air. And that's what it was for us. So even before we had our daughter, we knew, okay, we want to move to Texas eventually, but we had no idea how it was going to be. So we ended up just looking for a job. And actually, that's how I met you. I found Natasha in a local Facebook group where my sister-in-law lived here. And she was very helpful. She even offered us other jobs that my husband could have looked into. She gave us tons of information and resources we could look at, because that was the main thing, is we needed to find work for my husband so we could afford a house. So he found a job pretty quickly, and we ended up living with his sister for a few months. And I think it was October was when we decided we were finally going to get our own place, but we didn't know what we could afford. So Natasha helped us figure that out. And we didn't know really what area, if we wanted to be in Tomball or Cypress. And originally we wanted to move to Tomball, but we did actually find that Cypress is very close. And I still, even though we live in Cypress now, we shop in Tomball all the time. So it's very close. And then the school districts. Yeah, you helped me find where the best school districts would be here, which I very much appreciated, because even if our daughter, we're actually planning on homeschool, but even if she doesn't go to actual school, we still want to be in a nice school district with other kids,
street and whatever.
Right. So that's what brought us here.
Remind me, because I remember we were looking at all different places, and I was trying not to because we're not allowed to steer people, that's illegal, but kind of tell them about the different areas we looked at and how you ended up choosing the house that you did.
Right. So we had a smaller budget for a house, and that was even with all the help we thought we could get. And so you helped me find something in our budget. We looked through tons of houses. A lot of them were fixer uppers though, with the budget we had. And we didn't really want that, because the house we moved from, we had just spent the whole year of our life every weekend, every few days a week, just building up that house, remodeling. So when we got here, we wanted to get a house that was already remodeled, already nice, and had everything we wanted. So we actually looked at a 3-bedroom, which is actually next door to our current house. And that was within our budget. It was the 3-bedroom we wanted, and it was pretty decent. And we saw that the house next door was a lot more and over our budget. But Natasha mentioned hey, this house is for sale too. We could just look at it. And as soon as we walked in, my husband fell in love with the house, which he doesn't really care. He said, get whatever you want. But when he walked in this house, he's like, we have to have this house. I don't care if it's out of the budget. We'll figure it out. And thank God, this is the house we got, and it's actually 4 bedrooms. It was a little over our budget, but it worked out, and we love this house. And so we're so thankful for you for even telling us hey, let's just go check it out.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? I think a lot of people get caught up on I have to be below this number. And it's and I don't care, because I tell my clients I don't do this for the money. I do it because I love it. But I always tell them, I'm just a little bit more is probably going to be $25 to $50 more a month, but over 30 years. But the house difference is huge.
Yeah, it's worth it.
You guys don't feel strapped, or everything is, that's awesome.
No, even though after the pandemic, interest rates went down, so we were able to refinance and have even lower payments than we did before.
So tell me about your daughter and plugging in with people. Is that hard? Leaving your family, all that kind of the emotional side of stuff?
Yeah, so that's the big question I actually get from people too. They're like, "Well, all my family's here in California. Like, we don't want to leave our family." For us, I mean, I did have a big family and I was close with them, but I would still only see them holidays or birthdays. So I was worried about that. But when we got here, it's only a 2.5 hour, 3 hour flight, So people come and visit for the holidays. So like my mom comes for our birthdays every year, like 3 times a year. And the plane tickets are very affordable. They're usually under $200, and that's round trip. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I guess at first we were worried about it because we didn't know anybody except for my sister-in-law when we moved here. But then when we got here and I got my house, I joined a bunch of local Facebook groups and like different apps and things. And I've met so many amazing people that are now my best friends. And it feels like we've known each other forever. We have so much in common. Everyone we meet is so friendly. And especially like with my daughter, people are very nice to her. And you could just tell like that they have kids or grandkids. And in California, it wasn't like that. Like people were very short with you, very tempered, even with kids. And like over here, everyone's so friendly and we love that.
I always laugh when I go to the grocery store and the lady's like, have a blessed day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love where I live. What about like, what do you do with your daughter for fun?
So there are so many parks here. Every community has at least one playground pretty much. And through my friends and my sister-in-law together, we found so many parks and we meet up every week and they're very kid friendly and they have parks for different ages, playgrounds. They have walking paths that have playgrounds on them too. So we'll go for a walk and then we'll go to the playground after and the kids play. They also have a lot of indoor like playgrounds, which is awesome, but they're very big on like kids here. Like everyone that I know has a family, which again, California wasn't like that. Most people don't have kids till they're older. So that's like a big difference. And then the culture shock, like it's a lot different that way and the mentality and everything like that. But we also found there's lots of like classes you can go to, like, even though she's not in school, I take her to the science lab. I don't know if you've seen the little beakers. Yeah, she loves that. And it's for kids of almost all ages. And that's like so fun. And it's very affordable too. And we were going every week. We've done swimming lessons at like private pools where the instructor would come and that was affordable. And yeah, that's how we've met people through that too, through the programs and classes.
Have you done any like driving distance vacations?
We've driven north past Dallas to visit family, and it's like more country, which a lot of people like that out here. Like you can just go and you could even, and actually we're going to go on another trip. But there's tons of like cabins or like places that are in the middle of the woods, which is really nice. Lots of fishing here, I noticed. We haven't gone fishing yet, but we're looking forward to planning a trip. Even the communities have like the ponds that you could fish in, which is really cool too.
Yeah. What about beaches? Have you been to the beach at all?
Yes. So that was another thing. Like when we moved here, we didn't know like how far the beach would be because we were in California and we were always within like 40 minutes of a beach. So we pretty much are the same distance from the beaches out here. And there's rides and things like that at the beach too.
And Kima Boardwalk.
Right. And we did all that. We've done the Rainforest Cafe and all that stuff.
So fun. Yeah. So tell me what you think was like the most shocking part of moving here. Was there something that you were like negative or positive that shocked you coming here?
So the weather, like I was always told that it was a lot different, but I thought it would just be like hot and humid all the time, but it wasn't. California, where I lived, was actually just as humid. Even my family comes and visits. And they're like, oh, this is just like California. It's not that bad. And then I was also told like the mosquitoes were crazy out here. But again, we had them in California. And where I live, the community sprays, and a lot of these communities, the master plan and like HOA communities, they have someone who come and spray. So we've never had a problem since we lived here and are so thankful because we do know some people that do have problems, but then you could always spray yourself and things like that. So it doesn't really affect our lives as much as I thought it would.
Yeah. So the weather's not, I think we get a bad rap because sometimes like the last week I was recording a video and it was like 37% humidity. And I'm like, it's nice. Like I was bundled up and sometimes it is hot and humid. I mean, I tell everybody July and August, like we live in the water because it's hot and humid. That's just the way it is. What about, do you have any like regrets as far as moving?
No regrets, not at all. Like we're so thankful we moved here when we did right before the pandemic, like was perfect. We didn't know obviously that was going to happen.
Imagine how much equity you have now in your house.
That too. Like we know we're going to make a profit on this house eventually.
Yeah. Would you change anything about your location or where you are?
Not really. We actually are comfortable now. So our house is actually on a corner and we have nobody across the street from us because there's just like a big pretty tree and they're never going to put anything there. So we only have like one neighbor on one side and she's an older lady, very sweet. So we actually, that's the reason another reason we love this home is because of like the location. We don't have like noisy neighbors. It's like so quiet, but then there's always kids playing at the park across the street. So yeah, we really love it here.
Do you feel like there's a lot of opportunity here just with like there's such a growth? Do you feel like that's different as far as, there's a lot of job opportunity or different things to get involved with?
That's a yes. I tell everyone because that's the number one thing a lot of people are worried about is finding work. But everywhere I go, it says now hiring. And I've spoken to like mechanics, other small businesses. Everyone is hiring right now. They're willing to pay more because they want quality workers. It's hard for them to find. And then a lot of people here work from home too. So there's tons of work from home opportunities as well. That's another thing that moms always are asking me about. There's tons of work from home opportunities because people want to be with their kids. So yeah, there's lots of
your own t-shirt business.
Brave and Beautiful Apparel. I started that and I'm able to start that because my husband found a great job here, which he was working for a family business in California for like 10 years since he was a kid. And he was not even making enough to afford an apartment out there, even though it was his family. And he came out here and started brand new with the new company. And he's now like the number one technician in the US. And he's making more than everybody in the company. He was just congratulated by the CEO. And we're so thankful that we moved here. And here's a huge thing. He had no religion before. And now he like sees all the blessings. And it's making him religious.
You're going to cry.
I know, I'm about to cry too. He even started going to church with me, which he would have never done because he just didn't grow up that way. Yeah. So yeah, it's huge for us. And we're so thankful.
Don't you feel like it's a lot of people here? Like there's a church on every corner and it's not like, do you go to church? It's kind of where do you go to church mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. That we were like the only people who didn't go to church.
But that's cool. Okay. Anything else you would say to people? Like, cause I always think about my clients and I'm like, okay, like I was born and raised in Texas. My parents are here, my siblings, their cousins. Like if I had to, because of the stressors of what is going on in this world, which is, I tell people, I don't talk politics on my channel. I don't want to go, but there's a lot of people in desperate situations right now. What would be like some advice to them? Like, coming from California across to Texas?
I would say if you're not happy, like life's too short, as you guys seen within the last couple of years, like just do it. Don't look back. Like you're going to love it here no matter what. You could always reach out to me or Natasha. We're always willing to help you. And everyone here is so helpful. Like people offer you help all the time. They're not going to just shut you away. And if you just go to your local church too, like they're willing to help too. But yeah, there's lots of opportunity here. So there's nothing you can lose if you're not happy already. Like, I feel like it only can get better here, especially because we're like the state of freedom. I have family all over the whole country. And like here is where everyone wants to come. I've already had like 5 family members move throughout Texas and they're happy. They also feel the same way I do. No regrets. So happy, so thankful that they can go out and do what they want and they don't have to be stuck in their home. So we're very appreciative of that.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for letting me pick your brain. I thought this would be good for people. If you guys need to get in touch with me, Houston Realtor Natasha on Instagram and TikTok, Natasha Tessier on Facebook, or Natasha Tessier at Gmail. My number's below. Reach out anytime. And I can always connect you with Brittany if you have other questions that she might be able to answer that I can as far as the transition. So thank you, girl.
Thank you.